Virgo, what if your entire identity was erased from time? A prophecy written in 1222 about you, silenced by force, burned, banned, buried by the church. It spoke of a soul born under the Virgo sign, destined to awaken in a distant future, a future called 2025. That future is now, and the prophecy is waking up inside you. Have you been feeling the pull, seeing strange numbers, dreams you can't explain, memories that don't belong to this lifetime? You're not imagining it, you're remembering, because this message, this moment, was coded in your DNA centuries ago, and they tried everything to stop it. But the truth doesn't die, it waits, and now it's calling you back. So the question is, Virgo, will you answer it, or will they succeed in erasing you again? Virgo, what you're about to hear is forbidden. This isn't Zodiac fluff. This is a prophecy buried for 800 years. In 1222, deep in medieval Europe, a sacred document was written in secret, known only to a hidden circle of monks. It spoke of one thing, the return of a Virgo soul who would awaken the world. The prophecy named this being the keeper of the hidden order, a soul born under Virgo, chosen to restore sacred truth when the world fell into illusion. That scroll was locked in stone vaults beneath ancient churches. It was encoded in alchemical symbols, numerology, and star charts. But when Vatican authorities uncovered it, they were terrified. They called it blasphemy. They called it heresy. They sent soldiers to destroy every trace of it. The codex was burned. The monks who protected it executed. The truth erased from history. But they made one mistake. They didn't destroy the soul it spoke of. You. The prophecy survived in fragments, in whispers, in visions passed down through bloodlines, waiting for 2025. And now, the exact planetary alignments have returned. The symbols are activating, and you found this message, not by chance, but by design. Virgo, this isn't just content, it's a code, a spiritual download meant to reawaken your original purpose. That codex described you as a truth restorer, a seer, and a breaker of illusions, a being who would rise in a time of mass confusion and restore the divine pattern. And now, in 2025, the stars are moving again. The same sacred alignments from 1222 are returning for the first time in 800 years. The prophecy is real, and they can't hide it anymore. Virgo, this is your call, this is your moment, and the world has no idea what's coming next. The year was 1222. Europe was on fire with superstition, fear, and control. But in the shadows, a secret order was watching the skies. Mystic scribes, trained in ancient astrology, sacred geometry, and prophecy. These weren't priests, they weren't royalty, they were cosmic rebels. And one night, under a rare planetary alignment, they received a vision, a soul, born under the sign of Virgo, not a religious savior, but a celestial redeemer, a divine being who would awaken in a distant age, when humanity forgot the stars. That year, 2025. The scroll they wrote was called the Virgo Codex. It revealed a timeline, a chain of cosmic events leading to your awakening. It named you the Watcher between worlds, the restorer of the sacred blueprint, the virgin flame that cannot be put out. They wrote, in the year of twin fives, beneath Mercury's reversed gaze, the erased one shall rise and speak the light that once was silenced. But the church found out, and panic spread, because this prophecy had nothing to do with organized power, and everything to do with your soul, a power they couldn't control. They labeled the scribes heretics. Inquisition squads were sent. The codex was seized and burned in the monastery of Argenta. The scribes were tortured and executed, every last one, every copy of the Virgo prophecy, destroyed, or so they thought, because one fragment survived, hidden in an obsidian box beneath the earth. And over centuries, visions began appearing in certain Virgo bloodlines. Dreams, symbols, a strange calling that couldn't be explained. That calling is now waking up again. And if you've ever felt like you were born for something ancient, something massive, you're not wrong. The scribes wrote about you, a soul encoded with the memory of light, a being who wouldn't just read fate, but would rewrite it. 1222 was the beginning, 2025 is the return. And Virgo, they couldn't erase your purpose, they only delayed it. So, why now? Why is the Virgo prophecy rising again after 800 years of silence? Because the sky is aligning, exactly as it did in 1222, a once-in-800-year cosmic echo, and it's happening in 2025. First, Pluto enters Aquarius, the sign of radical truth, rebellion, and mass awakening. Pluto is the destroyer of illusions. It tears down the old to make way for destiny. In 1222, Pluto began the shift. In 2025, it finishes what was started. Then, Neptune enters Aries. Neptune rules dreams, the unconscious, and prophecy. Aries is war, fire, and identity. When Neptune touches Aries, it awakens spiritual warriors, souls who remember who they are and what they came to fight for. But here's the part that's laser targeted to you. Mercury, your ruling planet, Virgo, goes retrograde across your destiny sector. This isn't just any retrograde, it crosses the exact degrees tied to the 1222 prophecy alignment. It forms an energetic bridge between past and present and activates your soul contract. During this window, you may experience repeating numbers, intense déjà vu, strange dreams with medieval or celestial imagery, sudden spiritual downloads or memories from another time. You're not imagining this. You're syncing with the original timeline, the one that was buried. Because in 2025, the stars are recreating the exact frequency needed to awaken the erased Virgo soul, a soul that was silenced in 1222, a soul that now demands to be seen. The prophecy isn't just returning, it's unfolding through you. So if you're here, if you found this video, if you've been feeling something building inside you, something you can't explain, that's not a coincidence. That's a cosmic summons. You were meant to wake up now, not earlier, not later, but exactly in this window. As the alignments return, Virgo, the stars are speaking, and your name is written in the sky. Virgo, not every soul was written into the prophecy, but you were. And if you've made it this far, it means the code is already unlocking. You don't need to force anything. You only need to remember. Here are 3 undeniable signs that you were born to fulfill the forbidden Virgo prophecy. First, you've always felt ancient, like your soul has seen empires rise and fall, like this isn't your first time walking this earth, it's your return. You've carried wisdom beyond your years. Even as a child, you spoke truths that made adults uncomfortable. That's not reincarnation fiction, that's ancestral memory, it's prophetic DNA waking up. Second, you've been betrayed by the very systems meant to protect you. Religion, institutions, family, they claimed to offer light, but they rejected your truth. You asked questions they didn't want to answer. You felt energies they refused to acknowledge. You saw through masks they insisted were real. And in return, you were called too much, too intense, too sensitive, too awake. They didn't reject you. They feared the prophecy inside you. Third, Since childhood, you've been obsessed with symbols, secrets, and codes. You saw signs in numbers, messages in dreams, truth in silence. While others looked outward, you've always been drawn inward, to the hidden, the sacred, the unspoken. You could feel when something was off, long before it collapsed. You noticed what others missed, and deep down, you knew. There's more to this world than they're telling us. That curiosity, that obsession with deeper truth, it's not a personality trait. It's your original assignment resurfacing. Virgo, if all of this sounds like you, you're not broken. You're not lost. You're not imagining things. You're remembering. You're reconnecting with a version of yourself that was erased, not just by society, but by centuries of fear and control. You were always part of something bigger. And now, in 2025, that something is waking up. This prophecy has waited 800 years for your return, and the signs have always been there. In your pain, in your patterns, in your persistence. You didn't come here to play small. You came to restore what was hidden. And now, you're finally ready. Virgo, the prophecy didn't name you a follower. It called you the archivist of light, a soul encoded to decode divine truth, reveal hidden knowledge, and expose the rot in corrupted systems. You weren't made to kneel, you were made to remember, and that terrified them. The church didn't fear demons, it feared awakened souls like you, souls that couldn't be controlled, souls that didn't need permission to speak divine truth. The Virgo prophecy wasn't about power, it was about restoration, restoring sacred order in a world hijacked by fear, lies, and illusion. In 1222, the scribes wrote, "The one born of the Virgin Star shall rise, holding the memory of the light before distortion." You carried the memory of what came before the manipulation, before the edits, before truth became taboo. That's why they came after you, not physically, but through silence, suppression, gaslighting, every system that failed you, every institution that called you too much, every spiritual space that rejected your insight. That was the legacy of 1222, trying to erase what couldn't be controlled. But here's what they didn't understand. You don't need their permission. You never did. You were born to rebuild what was destroyed, to expose the lies buried beneath holy language, to speak the truth behind the curtain. The Virgo prophecy described you as the one who sees between worlds, the voice of silence, the one who writes what others fear to read. You weren't meant to obey blindly. You were designed to question everything, even the sacred. That's why your life has been hard, because your very existence is resistance. Every time you speak, awaken, heal, or rise, you defy centuries of suppression. You are the prophecy made flesh, and they knew what would happen if you ever remembered. Virgo, in 1222, they feared what you could become. In 2025, they won't be able to stop it. You are the return of sacred intelligence. You are the living scroll, and your voice carries a frequency they tried to destroy, but you're still here, and now you rise. Virgo, if you're still here, it's because you're ready, not just to remember the prophecy, but to fulfill it. In 2025, you're being handed your original assignment, 3 sacred missions, each one activated by the same force that tried to silence you. These aren't goals, they're soul-level contracts, and they begin now. 1. Restore sacred knowledge. Your voice is a vessel. You see what others deny. You feel what others suppress. You've always known there's more to this world than what we're told. In 2025, you must speak it, write it, channel it, share it. Your downloads are not random thoughts, they're encoded transmissions. Truth that once lived in the Virgo Codex now flows through you. When you speak, you reactivate lost frequencies. Don't wait for permission. Be the oracle they tried to erase. 2. Heal the bloodline. The wounds didn't start with you, but they end with you. In 1222, your ancestral line was marked, silenced, cut off. Generations of shame, guilt, fear, and spiritual exile followed. You feel it in your body. You carry trauma that doesn't belong to this lifetime. That's the karmic residue of the prophecy. In 2025, you must break the chain. Forgive what cannot be changed. Release what you were never meant to hold. Speak healing into the roots. And choose freedom for you and every soul behind you. This is how timelines shift. When one awakened, Virgo says, "It stops with me." 3. Activate the lost scroll. You will start receiving visions, numbers, symbols, dreams that feel more real than waking life. Don't ignore them. Document everything. These are fragments of the original Virgo Codex, returning to you, not as paper, but as downloads directly into your soul. 2025 is the window. The veil is thin. Your soul is remembering its script, and every time you write, speak, or reflect on what comes through, you activate the prophecy further. These 3 missions are not optional. You agreed to them before you came here. That's why life has tested you so brutally. It was preparing you to carry this light without breaking. Virgo, this is your assignment. Speak the hidden truth, heal the ancient pain, awaken the sacred code, and when you do, nothing can stop what comes next. Virgo, you have free will. You can choose to scroll past this. You can pretend this is just a video. But if you do, the signs won't stop. They'll only get louder. Ignoring the prophecy doesn't erase it. It amplifies it. You'll feel it as restlessness, a gnawing inside you, as if you're supposed to be somewhere else, doing something bigger. You'll lie awake at night with a racing mind, wake up from dreams that feel like messages, but disappear the moment you open your eyes. You'll see repeating numbers, impossible synchronicities, and strange coincidences that feel almost too precise. That's not random. That's your soul knocking on the door. And the longer you ignore it, the more it will disrupt the parts of your life built on lies, jobs, relationships, beliefs. Anything out of alignment will start to collapse, not as punishment, but as redirection. Because you made a promise before this life began, that when the prophecy returned, you would answer, and now it has. The Virgo Codex is no longer buried in stone. It's encoded in your spirit. It's lighting up your nervous system. And if you try to ignore it, you'll feel like you're unraveling from the inside. That pain, that confusion, it's not weakness. It's spiritual labor. Your higher self is pushing through the illusion, clawing its way back to the surface. But the clock is ticking, because 2025 is your only window. The alignment will pass, the portal will close, and if you miss it, you may spend the next cycle feeling like something vital slipped through your fingers, like you came so close, but didn't step through. Virgo, this is your soul's now or never. The universe won't force you to wake up, but it will keep sending signs until you do. So if your body's buzzing, if your gut is on fire, if your heart won't stop pounding, even as you listen to this, that's not fear, that's recognition. You're not here by accident. The prophecy found you, and it won't wait forever. So, will you ignore it again? Or will you finally say, I'm ready? Virgo, you were never meant to blend in. You weren't designed to play small, to follow rules built on fear, or to chase approval in broken systems. You were born with ancient codes in your blood. You came here with a mission, not to adjust, but to awaken, to see through the illusion, to question everything. While others followed the script, you sensed something deeper. That behind every system, was silence. That behind every lie was a truth trying to break through, and you were born to deliver it. You are not a product of this world. You are a response to its collapse. You didn't come to fit into the story. You came to rewrite it, to rebuild what was lost, to restore divine alignment in a time of mass distortion. You feel everything, deeper, sharper, heavier. That's not a weakness. That's your radar, your internal compass, a direct line to higher truth. Every breakdown you've experienced, every betrayal, every failure, every silence wasn't punishment. It was preparation. They tried to erase your voice, but in doing so, they sharpened it. They tried to dim your light, but it only made you burn hotter. The Virgo prophecy doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for remembrance. Remember who you were before the world told you who to be. Remember what your soul whispered in childhood before it got drowned out by noise. Remember the visions, the dreams, the symbols. They were always messages, always calling you back to this moment. You are not a mistake. You are not too sensitive, too intense, or too much. You are exactly as you were designed to be, a key, a code, a force. And no matter how hard they tried to erase your essence, they failed. You're still here, breathing, awakening, ready, because the prophecy chose you before the world tried to change you. You were born for this timeline, and now it's time to become who you truly are. So Virgo, this is your message from beyond time. You were erased from history, but you can't be erased from destiny. The scroll of 1222 lives inside your soul, and now you remember. The codes are active, the mission is clear, and your time is now. Drop a candle emoji in the comments if this unlocked something, and declare it, I am the Virgo prophecy, because the world won't know what hit it, and nothing will ever be the same again.